Welcome back, chat. I don't know why I did that, but hey, welcome back, chat. We're going to be doing today's reading of the Master Key System. Hopefully, it's not too loud in the house. We are on the road still. We are still on the road, and I just woke up. But we got my nephew's um, birthday party to go to here in a few, so I gotta get this reading in so I keep my word to y'all. You feel me? Gotta stay locked in on the word. I know I said I just woke up, but I just woke up long enough to go get coffee. Yeah, I woke up long enough to go get coffee for this reading, and just so I can be there for my nephew's birthday party. So, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. We're going to be reading this copy of the Master Key System because I gave my other copy to uh, a more than likely future brother-in-law for his birthday. Um, so let's get into it. And hold up, before we get into it, we got to do what we got to do. Sorry, sorry, Corey. I'm rushing again. I told you I wouldn't rush again, but let's go over what we have done already, right? Week one. Week one was sitting down quiet in a quiet place and then not interacting with your thoughts. What did that teach us from week one, right? That taught us, right, that our thoughts are not us. That noise is not us. It also showed you how to find yourself in the noise, right? You knew who you were during that noise, right? Week two, what did we do, right? In week two, we did the same type of exercise, but this time we decided that we're not going to allow the noise to be there, right? So when the noise try to show up and tries to get loud inside of here, we said not now, maybe later to the noise, right? So that would shut the noise up for a little while, or tell the noise to be quiet for a little bit for a nicer language. Week three, what did we do? Week three, we did the same thing. So we got quiet first. We told all our noise, not now, maybe later. And then we told our body that it's okay to relax. Because one thing that we don't do on a daily basis is remind ourselves that we're in a safe spot, we're in a safe space, right? And that you can relax in your safe space, especially in your home, right? Week four. Week four also went over the mental place again, so the noise, but the mental plane of the noise, right? And this mental plane of the noise is affected by the fear of that it's not going to work out. So how do we counter the fact that you're scared that it's not going to work out? Um, we said it's okay, it's working out. Why did we choose that specific language? Because it's a direct counter to your fear. It's okay relaxes you. It's working out. What's good with you, Bat? Welcome back. You're not. This is not the first time you've been here. Um, uh, I was in the middle, but it's okay. It's working out. Is quelling that fear of it not working out. Good morning, Sandy. Welcome to the stream. And then week five, what we just finished last week was, hey, good morning. Good morning, Sands. Give me one second. Hit week five one more time. Slip my mind. Somebody came here and called me a monkey. Made me forget all I was doing. That's funny. And there we go. Visualization. Week five was visualization week, right? So we did everything we did for the previous weeks. So we start from week two, quiet time, um, and telling our noise that not now, maybe later. Then week three, relaxing our body. Week four, letting our mental plane know. Appreciate that, Sandy. Letting our mental plane know that it's okay, it's working out. And then week five, visualizing. So now that we're in such a relaxed state from everything that led up to this, um, now you want to visualize. And what tip did I let you guys know? Now it's not the Bible. It's the Master Key System. What tip did I let you guys know for visualizing? What you always want to do when you're looking at images is see your own hands, right? That's the first thing to do when you're visualizing is to look at your hands. Look at your hands like you look at your hands right now, and that brings you to that moment, right? So just a little tip and trick for y'all for if you visualize on your own or do stuff like that. Just look down at your hands, and it's a way to bring you there to that moment. Looking at your hands lets you know that you're here. So looking at your hands there will let you know that these are your hands and that you're in that moment, right? But on to week 6, and we made it. We made it to week 6, chat. Um, week 6 of 24, and let's get into it. This is the Master Key System by Charles L. Fennell. Week 6, the brain of man. The universal mind is so wonderful that it is difficult to understand its utilitarian powers and possibilities, and its unlimited producing effects. We have found that this mind is not only all intelligence, but all substance. How then is it to be differentiated in form? How are we to secure the effect which we desire? Ask any electrician what the effect of electricity will be, and he will reply that electricity is a form of motion, and its effect will depend upon the mechanism to which it is attached. Upon this mechanism will depend whether we shall have heat, light, power, music, or any of the other marvelous demonstrations of power to which its vital energy has been harnessed. What effect can be produced by thought? The reply is that thought is mind in motion, just as wind is air in motion, and its effect will depend entirely upon the mechanism to which it is attached. Here then is the secret to all mental power. It depends entirely on the mechanism which we attach. What is this mechanism? You know something of the mechanism which has been invented by Edison, Bell, Marconi, and other electrical wizards, by which place in space and time have become only figures of speech. But did you ever stop to think that the mechanism which has been given you for transforming the universal, omnipresent potential power, was invented by a greater inventor than Edison? We are accustomed, full knowledge, facts. Facts. We are accustomed to examining the mechanism of the implements which we use for tilling the soil, and we try to get an understanding of the mechanism of the automobile, which we drive. But most of us are content to remain in absolute ignorance of the greatest piece of the mechanism which has ever been come into existence, the brain of man. Excuse me, chat. Let us examine the wonders of this mechanism. Perhaps we shall thereby get a better understanding of the various effects of which it will cause. In the first place, there is a great mental world in which we live and move and have our being. This world is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. It will respond to our desire in direct ratio to our purpose and faith. The purpose must be in accordance with the law of our being. That is, it must be creative or constructive. Our faith must be strong enough to generate a current of sufficient strength to bring our purpose into manifestation. As thy faith is, so be it unto thee, bears the stamp of a scientific test. The effects which are produced in the world without are the result of the action and reaction of the individual upon the universal. That is the process which we call thinking. The brain is the organ through which this process is accomplished. Sorry, chat. Think of the wonder of it all. Do you love music, flowers, literature, art, or are you inspired by the thought of ancient or modern genius? Remember, every beauty to which you respond must have its corresponding outline in your brain before you can appreciate it. There is not a single virtue or principle in the storehouse of nature which the brain cannot express. The brain is an embryonic world, ready to develop at any time as necessity may rise. If you can comprehend that this is a scientific truth and one of the wonderful laws of nature, it will be easier for you to get all understanding of the mechanism by which these extraordinary results are being accomplished. The nervous system has been compared to an electric circuit with its battery cells in which force is originated. It is white matter to insulated wires by which the circuit by which the current is conveyed. It is through these channels that every impulse or desire is carried through the mechanism. The spinal cord is the great motor and the sensory pathway by which messages are conveyed to and from the brain. Then there is the blood supply, plunging through the veins and arteries, renewing our energy and strength, the perfectly arranged structure upon which the entire physical body rests. And finally, the delicate and beautiful skin, clothing the entire mechanism in a mantle of beauty. This, then, is a temple of the living God, and the individual I and is given control, and upon his understanding of the mechanism which is within his control, will the result depend. Every thought sets the brain cells in action. At first, the substance upon which the thought is directed fails to respond. But if the thought is sufficiently refined and concentrated, the substance finally yields and expresses perfectly. This influence of the mind can be exerted upon any part of the body, causing the elimination of any undesirable effect. A perfect conception and understanding of the laws governing in the mental world cannot fail to be of inestimable value in the transaction of business, as it develops the power of discernment and gives a clearer understanding and appreciation of facts. Appreciate the likes on the stream chat. The man who looks within instead of without cannot fail to make use of the mighty forces which will eventually determine his course in life, and so bring him into vibration with all that is best, strongest, and most desirable. Attention or concentration is probably the most important essential in the development of mind culture. The possibilities of attention, when properly directed, are so startling that it would hardly appear credible to the uninitialized. The cultivation of attention is the distinguishing characteristic of every successful man or woman, and is the very highest personal accomplishment which can be acquired. The power of attention can be more readily understood by comparing it with a sunglass, in which rays of sunlight are focused. They possess no particular strength as long as the glass is moved about, and the rays directed from one place to another. But let the glass be held perfectly still, and let the rays be focused on one spot for any length of time. The effect will become immediately apparent. So, with the power of thought, let power be dissipated by scattering the thought from one object to another, and no result is apparent. But focus this power through attention or concentration on any single on any single purpose for any length of time, and nothing becomes impossible. A very simple remedy for a very complex situation, some would say. All right, try it. You who have no experience in concentrating the thought on a definite purpose or object, choose any single object and concentrate your attention on it for a definite purpose for even 10 minutes. You cannot do it. The mind will wander a dozen times, and it will be necessary to bring it back to the original purpose. And each time, the effect will have been lost, and at the end of the 10 minutes, nothing will have been gained, because you have not been able to hold your thought steadily to the purpose. It is, however, through attention that you will finally be able to overcome obstacles of any kind that appear in your path onward and upward. And the only way to acquire this wonderful power is by practice. Practice makes perfect. In this, as in anything else. In order to cultivate the power of attention, bring a photograph with you to the same seat, in the same room, in the same position as heretofore. Examine it closely, at least 10 minutes. Note the expression of the eyes, the form of the features, the clothing, the way the hair is arranged. In fact, note every detail shown on the photograph carefully. Now cover it and close your eyes and try to see it mentally. If you can see every detail perfectly and can form a good mental image of the photograph, you are to be congratulated. If not, repeat the process until you can. This step is simply for the purpose of preparing the soil. Next week, we shall be ready to sow the seed. It is by such exercises as these that you will finally be able to control your mental moods, your attitude, your consciousness. Great financiers are learning to withdraw from the multitude more and more, that they may have more time for planning, thinking, and generating the right mental moods. Successful businessmen are constantly demonstrating the fact that it pays to keep in touch with the thought of other successful businessmen. A single idea may be worth thousands of dollars, and these ideas can only come to those who are receptive, who are prepared to receive them, who are in a successful frame of mind. Men are learning to place themselves in harmony with the universal mind. They are learning the unity of all things. They are learning the basic methods and principles of thinking, and this is changing conditions and multiplying results. They are finding that circumstances and environments follow the trend of mental and spiritual progress. They find that growth follows knowledge, action follows inspiration, opportunity follows perception. Always the spiritual first, then the transformation into the infinite and illimitable possibilities of achievement. As the individual is but the channel for differentiations of the universal, these possibilities are necessarily inexhaustible. Thought is a process by which we absorb the spirit of power and hold the result in our inner consciousness until it becomes a part of our ordinary consciousness. The method of accomplishing this result by the persistent practice of a few fundamental principles, as explained in this system, is the master key, which unlocks the storehouse of universal truth. The two great sources of human suffering at present are bodily disease and mental anxiety. These may be readily traced to the infringement of some natural law. This is no doubt owing to the fact that so far knowledge has remained largely partial. But the clouds of darkness, which have accumulated through long ages, are beginning to roll away, and with them many of the miseries that attend imperfect information. Excuse me, chat. Thanks for the likes on the stream. Now let's read this text real quick together. That a man can change himself, improve himself, recreate himself, control his environment, and master his own destiny is the conclusion of every mind who is wide awake to the power of right thought and constructive action. Larson. Questions and answers from chapter 6. Okay, so we're gonna go over these questions and answers. We're gonna read this letter of transmittal, um, which may not be for our reading this week, actually. This might be our precursor to next week's reading for chapter 7, actually. So we're not gonna read the letter of transmittal this time. We read it last time, but when I read it, it felt like it was supposed to be for chapter 7 instead of chapter 6. But let's go ahead and read these questions and answers. So, what are some of the effects which can be produced by electricity? Heat, light, power, and music. Upon what do these various effects depend? They depend upon the mechanism to which the electricity is attached. What is the result of action and interaction of the individual mind upon the universal? The conditions and experiences which we meet. How may these conditions be changed? By changing the mechanism by which the universal is differentiated in form. What is this mechanism? The brain. How may it be changed? By the process we call thinking. Thoughts produce brain cells, and these cells respond to the corresponding thought in the universal. Of what value is the power of concentration? It is the very highest personal accomplishment which can be acquired, and the distinguishing characteristic of every successful man or woman. How may it be acquired? By faithfully practicing the exercises outlined in the system. Why is this so important? Because it will enable us to control our thoughts, and since our thoughts are causes and conditions, our causes, conditions must be effects. If we can control the cause, we can also control the effect. What is changing conditions and multiplying results in the objective world? Men are learning the basic methods of constructive thinking. And I'm going to read this text together. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst now then be false to any man. Let's go read a specific chapter from here, and I want to go over it really quickly, and then we're going to get into our exercise following the book. Okay. Um, so in the beginning of the chapter, he went over a couple of things, and I just wanted to go over real quick. There is not a single virtue or principle in the storehouse of nature which the brain cannot express. The brain is an embryonic world ready to develop at any time as necessity may arise. If you can comprehend that this is a scientific truth and one of the wonderful laws of nature, it will be easier for you to get an understanding of the mechanism by which these extraordinary results are being accomplished. Okay? And then, um, this then is the temple of the living God, and the individual I is given control, and upon his understanding of the mechanism which is within his control will the result depend. Okay, so these two specifically. Um, so how it's a storehouse, the embryonic world, which means the world of birth, right? Um, ready to develop at any time, that the necessity may arise, right? So you're at any time you can birth something from your world that where when the necessity may arise. So whenever you need a skill, whenever you need something to show up in life, I want you to think about times in your life where you needed something to happen, right? And it maybe didn't happen exactly how you wanted it to, but in some way you learned a skill that helped you further that progress for whatever you wanted in life in the future, right? A lot of times something happens not in the exact way that you wanted it to happen, but in a way that also helped you grow, right? From getting what you asked for, right? So it's an embryonic world, but the world is like a teacher, right? So let me put this in specific words. The world's like a teacher, right? So when we ask for something, a lot of times you get it in a way that you might not have asked for specifically, but in a way that taught you how to get it in the future, right? Because you have to supposed to be progressing from this stuff. You're not just supposed to be like asking for the same stuff, gaining no new skills, and then moving on with life, right? You're supposed to gain the knowledge behind gaining what you ask for in life, right? So you get it in a way to where you gain skills in that process, right? So I want you to pay attention to life and how you've gained so many skills by asking for things because you didn't get them in the way you wanted to, which would have been instantaneously, right? You got it in a way that grew your skills, right? So the world is an embryonic world. It's a world of birth, right? You're birthing something. You're birthing new skills to get what you desire, right? This then is the temple of the living God, and the individual I is given control, and upon his understanding of the mechanism which is within his control will the result depend. Once you understand the I, which is not a personality, is the I, right? You, you're just don't worry about it. The I, just say I. The individual, the I, is given control, and upon his understanding. So what does it mean by upon his understanding of the mechanism, right? Upon your understanding of yourself and who you truly are, will do your results come to your life, right? Your results come into your life based on how much you understand about yourself, right? In my world, I gain skills. That's why I gave the example of I gain skills. In my world, in my understanding of myself, the things that I ask for in life, I want to be able to do again, right? So I want to gain skills, right? So that's how I get my stuff. But that is not the same thing for everybody else, right? How does your world work? Pay attention to how your life works. Pay attention to how stuff comes to you in your life, and you really see how to actually ask for and see and wait and be patient for the things you ask for, because you'll understand how your world works specifically. You know, your understanding needs to be of how your world works, not of my world, how your world works. Everybody is their own universe, right? There are like billions of universes on the planet. Everybody is a singular universe creating on a mass singular universe, right? Um, so how does your world work? How does your universe work for you? Is the best thing to try to understand from this. How does your universe, your world work for you? You feel me? That's what you want to find out. That's what you want to spend time with. Ask for something and then wait for it to happen and pay attention to how it happened. Don't forget. You feel me? A lot of us ask for shit, we get it, and then we forget about it. Don't forget about it. You feel me? Remember that shit. That's important. If you want to do it again, you want to do it easier in life, remember that shit is important. All right. Okay. But now we talked about that part because I wanted to talk about that part. Let's get into the exercise for today because I don't have that much time. I got to get to my nephew's birthday party. I don't have that much time. I got to go. Um, so we want to pull up a picture, right? The exercise is to find a picture and to look at every detail of the picture, right? And then close your eyes and then see that picture in the detail of the picture. So I want you to grab a picture. Um, I'm not gonna grab this picture and put it in front of your face because I don't have that many pictures in here. It's not my spot. I'm traveling right now. Um, but there's a picture over here in the corner. I'm looking at it and I'm putting the picture in my mind, right? And I'm looking at the details. It said look at the details of the picture for some 5 to 10 minutes and just bring those images into your mind, right? Right. Just look at all those details and then close your eyes as soon as you got the details of the picture and then see that picture with your eyes closed. And that's all we're going to do for the next 5 minutes. We're going to look at a picture, find a picture that you want to look at, and we're going to look at that picture and analyze all the details and then see that picture with your eyes closed. And that's it. We're not going to do exercises 2 through 5 today. We're going to do just exercise 6. Okay, I got my picture in my mind in detail, and now I'm gonna close my eyes, and I'm gonna see the picture with my eyes closed. Immediately upon closing my eyes and beginning to try to see the picture, I got the immediate feeling of nervousness, kind of like anxiety. Um, it's more so a fear of my ability. But what did we learn from week 5 or week 4, actually? That our saying to relax our mental plane, "It's okay," is working out. That's our saying from week 4 to relax your mental and allow you to actually see what you're trying to see. It's okay is working out, you know? Normalize it. Normalize what you're able to do. Normalize these things so that they're easier to do, and there are no senses of fear that come up when you go do them. Ooh, appreciate the chat and Sandy. And one thing I like to do as well is since my picture is on a stand over here, I'll also try to see the stand that the picture is sitting on, just so it's just so much more realistic inside my mind. Um, so if your picture is on something specific like your phone or sitting on a shelf, you can also try to see that shelf that it's sitting on as well, just to give it more realism. Um, it's all good. I appreciate you joining in on today's activities. Were you able to see your image, Sandy? Were you able to see the image inside your mind? At first, for me, for some reason, the um, the image that I was looking to see inside my mind danced onto the picture. It danced onto the picture, and then they sat on the picture. They sat on the picture after they danced to the picture frame, and then they got in position to on the in the picture, which is that was very strange. That hasn't happened before. So that was a first experience for me. Um, but they danced into the picture frame, and then they got into their pose on the picture. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and you also look at your palm, right? So that looking at your palm really brings you into that moment. Um, thank you for doing the exercise. That's fire. But that looking at the palm brings you to that moment, um, and it allows you to take, really feel that the presence of being there. It really puts you in that moment. It's just something I found out. Hey, mom, welcome to the chat. It's something I found out by just doing things um, during my visualizations, just doing things and seeing what brought me to my where I wanted to be faster. Thanks for the like on the stream, brought me where I wanted to be faster, uh, and really brought me into that moment. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. It's pretty cool. For sure, for sure, for sure. No problem, no problem. That's what the channel's for. I'm glad you got something out of it. Um, I'm glad you enjoying the exercises. Sorry if I look sleepy. I just woke up. I'm not gonna lie, like 20 minutes ago now. Woke up, got coffee, got to reading because I gotta get to my nephew's birthday party. But um, thank you for enjoying this meditation with me, join the reading with me. I do have to go because I gotta go get dressed now. But we're gonna do our outro. And if you did enjoy today's stream, if you could like, comment and subscribe, share the stream, and share the content if you want to. Uh, but I'm about to be out, and we're gonna do the outro. We all get that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. And I'm gonna see you in the next stream, in the next content on the channel. And if nobody said they appreciate you, I for sure do. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you next time. Peace.